Hi guys, it's Nathan Bell. It's Monday, and on Mondays I work with my creative writing mentor Tom Pahlow, who is provided by the NDIS Creative Art Service Reliability. Today we've been having a look over a treatment that I wrote a couple of years ago for a book called Fanatic, which is about a DMT psychedelic religious cult who think that the mental health system is a mind control operation run by the state, so they attack a psychiatric ward. Now, I want to talk a bit today briefly about writing treatments. I've written a number of complex treatments over the last few years. It is as important as everyone says to write your ideas down. The treatment I wrote for Fanatic is about 20 pages long, and it details in dot points, 20 pages of dot points, the entire plot of the book from start to finish. I also wrote, when I wrote Kings of the New Age, The Quest of the Balancing Stones, I wrote a dot point treatment which detailed the entire plot of the book from start to finish, and the treatment for Kings of the New Age before the book was finished ended up being about 80 pages long. So that's the length you've got to go to detail your plot. Now, I also wrote a treatment for 22nd Century Man, which ended up being about 40 pages long. So what I do with my treatments is I will dot point every little detail of the plot from start to finish. I will go from the first event, and I go event by event by event. And sometimes I also draw maps and stuff and plan in other ways, but the treatment should detail every event in the whole book from start to finish. Right, so, and you want to detail what characters look like, you want some little details about their personalities in there as well, and if you feel like it, you can write little sections of the book into the treatment as well, but you're basically generating, you want to sit down in a few sessions. I try to do it in one session. If I'm going to write a treatment, I will try and sit down for a few hours. Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 hours, and I will try and detail every point of the plot from start to finish in the first session, because I'm very good at coming up with plots, and once I start thinking about them, I can usually come up with the majority of the plot. But the important thing is to write the plot from start to finish for the whole book, not to just start writing your book and wing it the whole way through and write little bits and then try and make it all work together. You want, before you start writing your dialogues, before you start writing your story and narrating the story, you want to have the whole plot from start to finish planned out. So Tom has just read the treatment for Fanatic. This is the first day he's read it, and he thought it was quite good. So I'm just going to hand over to Tom, and Tom's going to talk a bit about his own treatments that he has written and summaries of books that he is writing, and a bit about the treatment for Fanatic.
Yeah, so as Nathan said, I think it's a really good idea in whatever capacity you can to get any ideas down. You know, I have a couple of different methods myself, so I carry around a notebook, or I have OneNote on my phone, where I just jot down ideas. It can be as simple as just a sentence or two sometimes, but having that somewhere is really great, because then you can go back through it and read it, and you get ideas. You can put stuff in a current story you're working on, anything like that. Something like a treatment is a really great idea, like a plot or plan for your book is really good to have. If you've got a little bit more time, try and get something like that down. Any ideas you can think of are really good. My own personal experience with them has been that it's kind of what's gotten me back into writing. Reading over some of my past sort of plots and plans and everything has kind of inspired me and motivated me to kind of get back in and, oh, this was really cool, I really actually want to give this a go. So it's good for that as well, for motivation. And speaking of Fanatics, you know, it's a very detailed plan that Nathan's got for it, and it goes through, as he said, every kind of detail you can think of, and it's really interesting. I think it'll be a really very gritty but very good book to have. And so once we're finished on 22nd Century Man, we'll see where that one goes. So keep tuned.
Thanks, guys.